Another Brick fan here with a look at a collectible minifigure series. This is Harry Potter Series 2. This is set 71028, was released in September 2020, has 125 pieces, 16 minifigures, and each blind bag cost about $5. So if you pick the right bags, either by luck or through your feeling skills, it'll only cost you around $80 for the entire set. I've heard that the boxes, unlike before, seem to be random, so you're not guaranteed to get several sets by buying a full box. Kind of an interesting departure for LEGO. All of these characters I think are really good. Of course, we get the normal cast of characters with Harry, Ron, and Hermione, which seem to be in every set. Then we get a couple of new figures like Harry's parents. We get this nice Griphook figure and a good figure for Professor Sprout. Even though I like all of the figures in this series, I do have a few standouts. I think Dumbledore looks really good in this nice red robe, and I really like that fox piece that comes with him. Luna Lovegood, I think, looks great with this lion head piece. I think it's a really good piece, and it looks really nice with the colorful outfit that she is wearing. Back there in the back, you see Kingsley Shacklebolt. He's in this nice purple. I really like the hat piece that he has there. And that robe piece that has got the split robe in the front and then the kind of cape in the back, I think is a really nice looking detail for him. Let's get in and take a closer look at all of these figures. First up, we have Harry Potter and Dumbledore. Harry has his advanced potion making book. As you see here, this is nice print here on the front cover. And then inside is also a 2x2 printed tile with a bunch of what looks like very small text. I like the light blue or sand blue coloring of the book. Dumbledore, of course, comes with his familiar fox. Here's a closer look at Fox. I think it's a really nice mold. Harry's here in his street clothes, and this expression looks a little startled to me, but he's wearing this gray jacket, the blue pants with a printed belt here, and then his shoes are also printed down here below. Dumbledore's in this nice red robes with a gold printing, which I think looks really good. He's got his hat with the gold stars on it, so this hat hair mold is very nice. And then he's got the same beard I think he's always had, so I don't think that's a new piece, but certainly fits in well with Dumbledore. Moving around the figures, there's no side printing on either one of these. The nice thing about having these robe pieces is the fact that the printing goes all the way down on that, so you get that very nice look there. Of course, each of these has an alternate expression, as you can see. You also got a good look at the back printing on Dumbledore there. Next up, we have Hermione Granger and Ron Weasley. These two both have this new, what I'm calling a butterbeer cup, although I suppose it could be pumpkin juice, but it looks like these two are dressed for going to Hogsmeade. Let's take a closer look here at that new goblet piece. I think it looks really nice and is actually pretty distinguishable to feel for. You just have to make sure, since both of these have the same accessory, that you feel for the hair pieces to distinguish the two apart. Once again, I like that they're wearing street clothes. It looks like Hermione's wearing this light tan sweater. She's got blue and gray on her legs here. Very good printing all the way down. And as you'll see on the sides, I like this little pink sash or belt she's wearing. Ron also is wearing kind of a zip-up sweater, it looks like. Nice striping there. Same hair piece for both of these characters, I think. Those are the ones you typically see with them. Both of these have side printing, so you see the stripes on Ron here. A little bit of printing down the side, and then, of course, the shoes are printed. Hermione continues that printing down her leg as well. You see that Hermione does have dual molded legs there. A continuation of that same printing on the back, and then an alternate expression for her. And then here is Ron's alternate expression and the continuation of the sweater printing on his back as well. Moving around to the side, you see the continuation of the printing on the legs and, of course, on Ron's arm. Up next, we have Luna Lovegood with her lion hat piece. And this is Griphook with the sword of Gryffindor, and he also has a key in his hand there. I really like the printing on this lion head. It's done in bright yellow, kind of a yellowish orange. Then it has a couple of different browns in it to give some striping, which I think turned out really nicely. Looks like she's wearing a sweater vest over a gray shirt and some pink pants, red boots. Luna definitely dresses very colorfully. Griphook is in a striped shirt with a striped vest with the opposite colors, so white and black, and then black and white for the other with the plain short legs. This Sword of Gryffindor piece is actually quite nice. You can see it's got the little gems in the pommel down here and then on the hilt guard as well. I do like the headpiece for him with the integrated ears here, and then the nice gray coloring. A little bit of side printing you see on his arm there. Dual molded legs for Luna with the darker red and pink up above. Continuing on the printing of her sweater there. And the pinstriping here on the back of Griphook. No alternate expression for Griphook. There is one for Luna. And Luna not only comes with the lion's head, she comes with a normal hairpiece for Luna, which is this nice, very blonde color hair that she has. So there is her alternate expression. And here you can see the back of that hairpiece that comes with Luna. So once again, pretty easy to find because you can feel for that lion head and the extra hairpiece. Next up we have James and Lily Potter. James has this nice scarf piece, which I remember seeing in some of the Ninjago sets, but I'm sure it's been in some city sets as well. He has this very nice printed 2x3 tile. A family portrait of him and Lily. Get a quick look at that. See, it's a very nice picture. I think this is the picture that Harry has sitting on his desk in the movies. Lily comes with this baby Harry piece here, which I think turned out very nicely. The nice gold printing for the H there. And once again, a fairly easy piece to feel inside the blind bag. Printing on James is pretty good. He's wearing a black suit with some gray accents in here. Gray shoes, it looks like, with the black on the bottom. Lily's got a dark blue outfit on. You can see some ruffle and different texture down here below. And then a light blue, what looks like a vest over the top. Sideburns here on James look pretty good. As we move around these, you see there is printing on the legs of both of them, on the sides. James with the dual molded legs here. A little bit of printing on the back. And the continuation of the vest that Lily's wearing. Each has an alternate expression, which we can see here. Next up we have Ginny Weasley and her brother Fred Weasley. Ginny, of course, is dressed up for Slughorn's Christmas party. And you can see she's wearing a green dress, which is done in this nice dark forest green. She has a little gold clip in her hair, which I think is a nice little touch. We'll see that as we move around. And then the bottoms of her, she's wearing some shoes here, so you can see the gap between her skirt and then her feet. Fred is wearing this nice cap and hair piece that is combined, wearing this kind of tan colored, almost looks like a jumpsuit, maybe some gray boots down below. He is carrying what looks like a briefcase, or what it ends up being the Weasley joke box. Looking inside of this box, you see quite a bit of printing that has some scores in there, it looks like. And then a couple of these joke pieces that they make in Weasley's Wizarding Wheezes. A very nice piece here. Ginny is also carrying this ice cream here in a nice glass container. Like the long curls they chose in this reddish orange color, which is obviously very characteristic of the Weasleys. See, they have nice printing on the sides of their legs, and both have dual molded legs as well. As far as the alternate expressions go, here are their happier expressions, as you see. Next up we have George Weasley with a folded up version of the Marauders map. And Bellatrix Lestrange, who looks like she just got out of Azkaban. She also has a tile piece there with her Azkaban prisoner number, I'm assuming. Let's take a look at the Marauders map. There you see the Marauders map. We've seen other versions of this. For example, the 2x3 tile that came with a set from the last wave of Harry Potter. And here you see the Azkaban prison number for Bellatrix on this 1x2 tile. Of course, George is dressed just like Fred was, except George has his coat open, so you can see that red striped shirt below. Has the same hat hair piece that Fred did. Bellatrix has this very large black hair piece here. She's wearing her Azkaban prison robes. It's kind of dirty down here on the bottom. You can see they're using some tan down there, which I think is a good touch. Side printing here on George, just like Fred. And then, as I said before, I like these robe pieces because you get printing all the way down the back. Alternate expressions. There's a good laughing one there of George. And here's Bellatrix with a more serious face on her. Side arm printing here on Bellatrix as well. Next up we have Kingsley Shacklebolt and Moaning Myrtle. Kingsley comes with a dark reddish brown broom. And Moaning Myrtle comes with this good version of Tom Riddle's diary. You see the initials here, TMR down there. Tom Marvolo Riddle. Inside, you see some writing saying, "My name is Harry Potter," and then Tom begins to answer. So very cleverly done print there. As I pointed out in the intro, I really like this hat that Shacklebolt is wearing, and this robe piece that is in both in the front and the back. There is the printing on the front. See a little bit more detailing on his purple outfit there. Moaning Myrtle is done in this all blue with the pale blue hands and face. She has this blue hair, which actually is a flexible piece. And she's wearing the old style Hogwarts robes here, as you can see, which look a little beaten up, obviously, as she's been a ghost for quite some time. Moving to the side here, you see some wrist printing for Shacklebolt. No alternate expression on Kingsley, but you see Moaning Myrtle crying here, and a nice back printing. It almost looks like there's a hood here for her robe, which I suppose makes sense. And then the back of Shacklebolt has that same pink and blue striping that we saw on the front. One last thing to note on Moaning Myrtle, she does come with this positioning piece here that we first saw with the DC minifigures that allows you to position her in a variety of ways. So show that she's floating in the air, which I think is a good touch. Our last two figures are Professor Pomona Sprout and Neville Longbottom. Professor Sprout comes with a mandrake, as you see here. It's a nicely printed cylinder that fits inside of a cauldron. You can see here, so she carries both, which I think is a good look, similar to the one that Neville had in Series 1. And then Neville comes with the Monstrous Book of Monsters, so it's the normal book piece, at least on the bottom, and the top has the mouth of the monster. And then it comes with a 1x2 slope that has the mouth here of the monster and some pages in there. A well executed looking book. Professor Sprout has these nougat colored robes, and once again it has some tan down here on the bottom indicating that they're pretty dirty, which makes sense, her being in the greenhouse all the time. I like this hair piece. It actually has some tan earmuffs integrated with the hair and then the hat all as one piece, which I think turned out very nicely. Neville has the 3/4 legs in this case, and he's wearing his Gryffindor robes there. So the full black robes. Has kind of a stunned expression on his face here. As we move around, you can see that earmuff I was talking about that's integrated into that hair piece. Back printing for both of them. Taking a look, there is an alternate expression for Professor Sprout and for Neville. Showing a lot of teeth for Neville there. No side printing for either one of these figures. So now that we've taken a close look at all 16 of the minifigures in this series, let's go back and I'll give you my final thoughts. Overall, as I said in the beginning, I think this is a great set. I really like all of the characters in here, with a few standouts, as I mentioned. I think a lot of the accessories are really good. I think it was fun to get Tom Riddle's diary, for example. I do like the Weasley joke box or briefcase that Fred is carrying. I think that along with the 1x1 printed tiles are really nice. I like how the twins look very much the same, wearing the same outfits and everything, but slightly different. So George has his jacket open, for example, compared to Fred, who has his jacket closed. That was a nice little detail as well. It was good to get Harry's family. I think a lot of people are going to like that baby Harry piece, which has that nice gold H on it. So I think that turned out to a nice piece. And as I mentioned in the beginning, I think Fox is a really good mold as well. Another point I made when I first saw this series is it's nice to get a lot of these figures out of their Hogwarts uniforms. Moaning Myrtle does have her old Hogwarts uniform on, although it's in that pale blue color, since she's a ghost. And then Neville is also wearing his Hogwarts school robes. It seems like all of these figures come from the last 2 books and last 3 movies, with the themes from Half-Blood Prince and from the Deathly Hallows. I hope you've enjoyed my thoughts on this collectible minifigure series. I'm going to get started on my next video. Until then, happy building. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and subscribe to my channel for more content. I've left a link to some of my other Harry Potter content up here on the screen.